So come into your most comfortable seated position. I did say comfortable seated position. Yeah. So I specified because I knew if I said your most comfortable position, you would automatically go on your back. Yeah. And so it's okay to sit up on a prop or not, right? We're just going to try to find a way that we can actually not lean forward. Right. So the most of us, what I'm seeing as I look around the room, I'm trying to look at your faces, but my eyes are being drawn to the crease of your hips. And what I'm seeing is a lot of this, right? Deep, deep crease in the hips. So if you could just imagine just opening up that space just a little bit, letting your spine lengthen upward and be a little taller, and allowing some of the weight to kind of sink into your tailbone. Did you already have a spot for her? Okay. Very thoughtful. If someone else comes in late, well, we know. I know what's happening in here, you guys at home. Somebody came in late and we had saved a spot for her, but she already made her own spot. So then in the end, it was like, never again will we save you a spot. Okay. So we're going to try to get some of our weight into our tailbone. And in doing so, it's like actually saying to the world, like, okay, I'm just going to sit back and relax. I'm going to let things unfold. When we unplug the tailbone and we lean forward, it's like we're plowing through life head first. And you can actually try it. Go ahead, unplug the tailbone, lean a little forward. You can feel this like, I'm ready kind of energy. And then you kind of take it back and you're like, okay. So next time you're in a conversation with somebody who is like over excited, right? Maybe you just lean back a little bit. Take a shift, become the witness or the observer instead of getting engaged and sucked into, right? We learn so much by witness consciousness, right? So close your eyes for a moment. See what it feels like to just sit back. To be waiting as opposed to taking action. And we'll take about 3 more breaths here, just so that it sets in, a little impression made. And then I want you to keep the root of the tailbone, but just gently, not all the way chin to chest, but drop your head a little forward while your body stays back. And then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Take it slow. Do you feel what's going on in the left side of your neck? Yeah. Really sort of like direct the ear toward the shoulder. And then slowly start to tip the head back. Don't let it drop back to your shoulders. Just let the jawline lift. And then tip your left ear to your left shoulder and see what's going on in the right side. So it doesn't have to be a big movement to get the sensations. And then go ahead and draw the chin down a little bit. And then we'll just switch the direction. Left ear, left shoulder. Chin rises, gaze goes up. Right ear, right shoulder. And then chin down a little bit. Now we're going to lift the head back up. And see if we can find that place where the weight of the head balances over the tailbone and we're sitting back in the tail, yeah? Yeah, there's little adjustments because we forget. We lose it, right? And take a deep breath, reach both arms up over your head. Feel the waistline grow. See if you can keep the head balanced over the tail. And then take your right arm and just reach down to the floor on the right. It should be about in line with your hip, not too far forward, not too far back. And then plant your right hand flat, bend your right elbow, and just bend into the right side as you open up the left side. And then even here, we're going to play with the neck. Just look down at your right hand. And then turn and look up at your left hand. Let's do it again. Just gently turn and look down at the right. And then look up at the left. Now give a little push into your right hand so you make sure that your tailbone and your left sit bone stay on the ground, and then pull in the belly and rise back up. Opportunity here to lift up through both sides. And then we're going to take that left hand down, palm to the ground, and a little bend over to the left. And then just play a little bit, look down. Nice rotation in both directions, turn and look up. And we'll do it one more time, just kind of feeling what's going on in your neck. Push a little into your left hand so that the right sit bone and the tailbone are grounded so you can rise up. And then go ahead and release your arms and switch the crossing of your legs. Yeah, it's always a little weird to do. Okay, how are we? So far, so good? Are you still sitting in your tailbone, or did you guys like wait for the next cue and lean forward, right? So habitual patterns, they run deep in us. So you got to try to train yourself. Sit back, relax, be the witness, enjoy your life, watch the silliness of everybody else's crazy, right? Right, just kind of just take a step back. And then we're going to take the left hand, and you might not be able to reach your knee. Some of you are going to lean forward to get the knee. I want you to just stay where you are, but just reach across. Left hand to right leg. Anywhere, right? So you still have that same alignment. Bring the right hand behind you and just take a little twist. Some of you just spilled the pelvis forward, creating that anterior tilt. So if you can, draw the tailbone down. Stay rooted in both sit bones and just see how much you can turn the waistline. And gently here, right ear, right shoulder. So good. And while you're tipping your ear to your shoulder, can you also lift your jawline? And then bring the jawline back down, lift the head back up. Check in with your twist. See if you can twist a little deeper to the right, but turn your gaze all the way to the left. So your chin is moving toward your left shoulder, but your body is still turning right, like you're wringing out the tension of the neck. And you're breathing and just check in. Did you unplug one of your sit bones or your tailbone? I did. So I know I'm going to fix it myself, right? So I'm reminding you to fix it. And then the body turns to meet the head position. And we just check in again. Where do you feel the energy in your body? Around your neck, around your throat, your shoulders. Yeah, let's try the other side. So simple. Right hand reaches across to the left. You don't have to touch the knee. That might make you lean forward. For me, it would make me lean forward. So I'm just going to stay back in my tailbone. And I'm going to start twisting to the left side. My left hand can come behind me to be some support for the length of the spine. And then you're just going to simply tip the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, just like what's happening in there. And as you do that, maybe you lift the chin a little bit. You find something different. Anyone find anything in there? Yeah? Craziness. And then bring the jaw back into a normal position. Lift your head back up to center. And then we stay in the twist. Activate the twist a little bit more and then rotate your head all the way to the right, chin to right shoulder. Keep opening across the collarbones. Keep rooting the tailbone and the sit bones. It's these subtle little micro movements that actually keep you in the practice. If we only focused on the outer form, we would absolutely lose our attention. There's not enough in the outer form to hold us. We need to pay attention to the subtleties. And as you detail the body and you infuse the breath, something starts to shift and change. Release the grip of your hands and let your body come forward. There you go. And then just take a moment to feel. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Make an ah sound, A-H. Ah. It's good. A long, slow, deep breath in. How about a ha sound, a little more breathy? One more deep breath here. The M sound. And the last one. Shh. Take a deep breath. Shh. We all clear different parts of us. Let's go ahead and take the block out from underneath. And we're going to sit onto our bottoms. If you're sitting up on a prop, let's remove them. Some of you are not, but some of you were. And bring the legs out in front. Feet are nice and wide. Knees are nice and wide. The knees are bent. Your feet are on the ground. Yep. And I want you to round your back. So we forget about that posture. The tailbone and the sit bone stay rooted, but there's this rounded feeling as the chin drops to the chest and the head drops between the knees. Anyone have any tension in the upper back, neck, or shoulders? Yeah. Thank you for raising hands. If your shoulders are rising up toward your ears, let them down. Yeah. Funny habit, right? Catching ourselves in those little funny, peculiar things we do in our body. And as you let your head fall forward between your knees, can you gently turn your chin toward your right shoulder without picking your head up, right? Without picking the head up, just rotating in that forward position. That one's always special for me. That one actually awakens the tension that's in the trapezius muscle, right? That big upper back and neck muscle, right? So relaxing the shoulders, turning the chin toward the right shoulder. Take a deep breath into your upper back, like really kind of let the breath rise up into the space between your shoulder blades, spreading the ribs. And then let your head come back to center. It hangs there in the center between your knees. Let the weight of your head give the traction to your neck. And then turning to the other side. Just directing the chin toward the left shoulder. And again, just keeping the head hanging forward. And so if you need to change your foot position to make it easier for your head to hang, just do what you need to do here. I want you to feel the stretch in your back. And then we take that breath all the way up into the upper back, into the back ribs. And then turning the head back to center, pull in the belly, please. And then support your spine as you lift your head back up. That might be what, anyone feeling a sound there? Okay. Any comfortable position, you can kind of stay just like that. If you want to go back to simple cross legs, you can. I want you to take your shoulders, like you're sitting up straight, and you're just going to take your shoulders up to your ears. Just like over accentuate that tension spot, right? Like all the way up, shoulders to the ears. Feels kind of weird. Yeah, but think about how much we do that all day long, unknowingly, right? So squeeze them all the way up, and then in slow, slow motion, start to let them down. Let them down all the way till they completely relax into gravity. Yep, let's do it one more time, just like all the way up. Shrugging, disappearing the neck like a turtle. Yeah. All the way up. We do weird things in yoga all the time. We'd never walk around town like this, but in class it makes sense, right? And then really slow motion. We don't want to drop them down fast. We want to just slowly feel the muscle soften. Okay. Inhale, both arms up. Take your arms out like a T, And then wrap your arms around yourself, like cross your elbows and wrap your hands as far around toward your back. So try not to just grab the arm. I feel like you're selling yourself short if you're just grabbing the arm. See if you can get your fingers to go toward your back body, and then drop the elbows toward your chest, and then drop your chin toward your elbows. Remember that crease of the hip. See if you can root your tailbone. And then push the breath up and into the shoulder blades. It's not as easy to breathe when you have the weight of the arms on the chest, so just kind of make the breath a little bit bigger. Let it work against the resistance. Anybody getting a stretch there? Okay, good. Now we're going to keep the sit bones and the tailbone grounded like we did in the warm-up, right at the beginning. But I want you to turn your elbows toward your right knee. Let's see what happens there. And continue to breathe deeply. And so it's not a lean over, it's a turn, a twist. And then we'll take it into a bend. So I'm going to bend the elbows toward the right leg and keep letting the head hang forward. Anything coming up there? I'm hearing some sounds in the room. You guys okay at home? Yeah? Okay, thanks. I got the thumbs up. Thank you, Les. Don't be afraid to find the twist and the bend. And then I'd like you to lift your chin first and then come up with a strong belly. Good. Pay attention to which arm is on top, and then inhale, open the arms out like a T. Oh, that's going to feel good. And then whichever one was on top now goes on bottom, and we'll wrap around for the other side. And it starts with just elbows to the chest and then chin to the chest. So we let the chin drop. And we just kind of imagine opening that space from the base of the skull to the space between your shoulder blades, like that whole upper back and neck. And then without bending forward, we just turn the elbows toward the left knee. Continue to follow the quality of your breathing. And then slowly start to bend so that your elbows come toward your left leg. Maybe something else starts to expand and open up there. Don't be afraid to check in with the turn and the bend. And like we did on the first side, we lift the head first, so we engage a little bit in the core. And then we rise up with a strong belly. Release the arms all the way out like a T. Yeah, right? Let the arms float for a moment. And then just let them gently drop down. Just see if you can sit for a moment in that. And just see if you can feel where the shift is happening in your body. Does anybody feel like a subtle change in your energy body? It's like a mild kind of vibration, maybe, that you feel. It's hard to describe kind of what the sensation is. But if we don't stop and pay attention, it would be really easy to miss it. And so right now we're just allowing a space for a cellular change, right? And an energetic change in the body without any resistance. Yeah. See if you can plug in the tailbone. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the experience for a moment. And we're going to go ahead and do what you wanted to do when we started, is lay down onto your back. Yeah. I hear that. Moans and groans are always welcome. And then just bend your knees so we can find ourselves in conscious resting pose. Yeah, take your time. Once you lay it down, there should be a little bit of tension and release. So see if you can let it soften. Try not to hold any tension that may have been increased maybe by the work. And the truth is that work doesn't increase the tension, it exposes it. You were living with that before you walked in this room, but now you just figured out that it's there, right? So now your head, neck, and shoulders should be resting. And if you can, rest them flat on the floor. I would only suggest something under the head if you have a cervical spine issue or a vertigo, like some reason, maybe you have pressure with your eyes and you have to keep the head elevated. But if there's none of that kind of stuff going on, flat onto the back of the head is nice for your energy body. And it helps us preserve the cervical curve, which is so important. That little space behind your neck. Now, if you would, roll your right ear toward the right shoulder or toward the mat. Just turn, see what kind of range you have. And then go ahead and slowly roll over to the other side. Let the back of your head kind of rub against the mat. And we'll do it one more time, turning the head to the right. Softening the jaw as you do this work so there's no resistance. Relaxing the shoulders and the throat as you make your way over to the left side. Good. And then we'll center the head and try to just let that be for a moment. As we open our feet a little wider on the mat, just go ahead and drop the legs over to the right side, please. As your legs drop over to the right, I'd like you to take your left hand and take it out to the left. Just like kind of stick the left hand out to the left, but turn it palm down. Now we're going to bend the elbow so your fingers kind of point in toward your waistline. And then see if you can slide your hand and your forearm under your back. How far in there can you get? Can you make your fingers stick out the other side? Yeah. And then make sure you lay down. And so we've created a very different position for the shoulder, the left shoulder. It's internally rotating here. And we're just going to let it be close to the body. See if you can get the forearm under your back and your elbow close to your waist. And then we'll take the right arm up over the head. Just get it kind of up and out. So it's completely different external rotation and extension of the right shoulder. Now, can you return to the quality of your breath? I think you can do it, Norma. So I thought on the blanket it would feel soft enough. See if you can focus the breath up into the left chest. And bend, bend. And then that hand, take that. You know, the shoulder's tight, right? Yeah. And then we focus the breath up into that left upper quarter, right under the armpit, into the chest, into the shoulder. So we try to get some of that tightness in that left shoulder to melt. Use your breath to melt the left shoulder. Yeah. And if you don't feel tension in the left shoulder, then see if you can feel the breath kind of making its way into the space between the bones there, creating space in the softness. So sometimes we're working with space, sometimes we're working with tension. And the whole time, a little space between the lips and the jaw. What hurts? Arm. Breathe into it. So the first thing I'd like you to do is bring the right one down slowly. And then be prepared to make a sound. Yeah. We're going to start sliding the left one out. And as you slide it out, turn the palm over and just extend the arm all the way out to your side. Just say it. Don't hold it. Don't make a face. Don't make a face. Make a sound. I know you guys don't want wrinkles. You want to learn how to express yourself, right? Yeah. Maybe it's the maybe it's the ah, you know? Yeah. Take a breath, clear it. And then slowly tip your knees back up to center. Continue to let the left arm rest for a moment as we just kind of situate our feet. Make sure they're set nice and wide on the mat, all the way near the edges. And then we'll tip our knees over to the left side. Let them both kind of fall. So they're not holding any tension, they're not gripping. They're just kind of letting themselves be with gravity. And then we make sure we turn the right palm to face down. Start bending the elbow so the fingers point in toward the waist, and then go ahead and see if you can slide your right hand under your back. The palm stays down, and we maybe stick the fingers out the other side of the waist, elbow coming in close to the waistline. So check your feet, make sure they're nice and wide. Yeah, go ahead. This one stays here. This one goes here. Yeah, so then the feet kind of flop. Yeah, then you can focus on that shoulder. Looks good. Now, if you're trying to get it under there, there's tension. So as soon as you figure out where you're going to be, see if you can relax. Yeah. There's something really interesting about that moment when you realize you're trying and you let it go. Now the left arm will find its way up, bicep near the ear, elbow can be soft. There's nowhere to reach for or get to, but just sort of a changing position. So one arm is internally rotated, the other one is externally rotated, one in flexion and the other one in extension. And so we're just having a completely opposite experience, but you want it to rest on the floor. Yeah. No muscle action, holding anything in place. A willingness to surrender. Inner edge of your foot. Something. No, don't bring it closer. Let it. Yeah, just let it fall. Yeah, but let it lean on that egg so you're not holding it. That hurts to turn in like that? Still after all this time. How about pick up your heel? More? Okay. It's crazy. I feel like we need to fix that. Check the quality of your breathing. See if you can move the breath into where the sensations are or where the spaces are. We can work with both. Especially focus on separating your lips and relaxing the jaw. That way the airway stays soft and open. Breath is an incredible tool. We want to use it well. It can be gentle and expansive at the same time. It can be engaging for the mind. If something about the shape really hurts your body, don't do it so deeply. It's okay to back off a little bit. So take one more breath here. And how about with the exhalation, we slowly bring that left arm down. Really let it come to rest. And if there's a sound that goes with it, don't be shy. I don't think anyone's purposely creating drama. We're just expressing that little bit of tension as it leaves the body. And then we're going to slowly start to slide the right arm out. As it comes out wide to the side, turn the palm over and then say that out loud. Just say that one out loud. Yep. So good. And we'll tip our knees back to center. Still breathing, still focused. Yeah, I see the faces. Why faces and no sound? When we work head, neck, shoulders, we want to make sound. Okay. Let's go ahead and take our arms up over our heads. Bend the elbows and grab your opposite elbows. So the biceps are near the ears, but they're in kind of close. You're making like a little square around your head. And maybe you're gripping the elbows too tightly if you can't get your arms to kind of rest on the floor above the head. So you can adjust how much you grip and just kind of let the arms kind of come to rest on the floor. And then we'll put the soles of the feet together and let our knees drop open. Yeah, I'm already hearing the sounds. But I actually think those are like complaints. So there's a sensation of opening in the shoulder and opening in the hips. I want you to make sure that you use your props well. If you need to support your legs, your ankles, if you want to elevate your feet, that could be a really nice way to do it. You can use the blocks to support the shins because we're going to stay kind of a little while here. And so if you are hypermobile and this pose comes really easy, today would be the day that you prop yourself. If you're really tight and this pose is really challenging for you, this would be the day that you prop yourself. If you happen to be the lucky few that are just kind of in the middle and can kind of do this comfortably, then you stay. There you go. And if you don't have props and you wish you grabbed them before we started, just raise your hand. I'll get you whatever you need. So we don't really want to be in a position where our legs start shaking because the pose feels overstretched. We want to make sure we feel supported. Let it go. Let it down. Yeah, there's support there. Let them be supported. All right, about 5 more breaths here. Breathing each time a little higher into the armpit chest. I want you to feel the breath push up against the chest wall, lifting and expanding the upper ribs, kind of pushing a little bit into the shoulder joint. That shoulder joint is made up of the collarbone, the shoulder blade, and that upper arm bone. So see if you can get the breath to move up into that space. We all have slightly different sensation up in there. It's a complicated joint. And energetically in our anatomy, it's complicated. It's all of the things that you have said and wished you didn't. And it's all the things that you wished things that you never got a chance to say. All of the unexpressed. It is the center in our body where we hold and we reconcile truth and lies. And it's all of the ways that we express ourselves, not just verbally, but even in how we dress or we wear our hair, how we present in the world. Let's take a last breath here. And then keeping the legs as they are, we're going to take our arms out like a T. And then we're going to turn the palms to face down, bend the elbows so the fingers point into the waist, and we're going to slide both arms under our back. Now, the forearms under the back may accentuate that anterior tilt. So for some of us, it feels great to have a little extra back bend and have the pelvis tilt forward. For some of us, it feels like too much. And so if we need to change up something with your props, I'll come and help you. See if you can get not just your hands under your back. Could the forearms kind of bypass each other and your fingers stick out the other side? So Both at the same time, maybe not. Maybe they don't have to go on top of each other, but one, yeah, 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 that's perfect. Yeah, not so easy, right? Sometimes things are simple, but not easy. Those are my favorite moments in yoga. Because the practice can be simple, but it doesn't mean it's not going to challenge us. And the truth is, the more complex the pose, the more engaging it is. So the simpler things are, the more you have to fight to keep your presence and your consciousness and your awareness. What's happening? You okay? Where are you pushing the breath now? There may be a little bit of impingement happening right at the space where the collarbone and the arm bone meet because of that internal rotation. See if you can lift the breath up and into that space. Yeah, I see you trying. It's really good. So we're going to give that 2 more breaths. Make them really good. Long, slow, deep, and complete. And then I need you to be really careful and slow and deliberate about how you slide those hands out. Maybe you do one at a time. Pull one out, turn it over. Pull the other one out, turn it over. And as you let your arms come out wide with the palms facing up, go ahead and draw your knees back together. Yeah, just say it. Just get all of that out of the body. Yeah, that could be any sound. Yeah. Whew. All right, try the knees into the belly. I think it might feel good after that. So I'm going to give you a minute with that because I think a little rocking, a little stretching could feel really good. Maybe even a little movement of the knees around, like rocking or moving one leg and then the other leg, just kind of like just loosening up wherever you're feeling something build up. Yeah, I like what you're doing. All kinds of different ways of addressing this organic movement moment. And then eventually we'll settle into the center and let our feet back onto the mat. So conscious resting pose, so simple. Let your feet and your legs be at ease for a moment. And then bring your arms really close in by your body. Yep. And then we're going to squeeze the elbows in by the waist and bend our elbows so our fingers go to the ceiling. So just bending the elbows so your fingers kind of point up to the ceiling. And then I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades in as you press into the upper arm and just puff your chest up. Right? Just puff the chest up. It means your tailbone stays on the ground. Again, there's a little bit of a back bend here. And the upper arm bone is kind of pressing down. See if you can feel how pressing the arms into the mat helps you get the chest up. There you go. The ribs might even lift and spread a little bit. But what's happening on the back body is contraction. The muscles along the spine and between the shoulder blades are squeezing. Yeah, so we're going to give a little charge to the back and we're going to open up the front. And then because it kind of looks ridiculous, you don't have to keep your fingers in the air. You can keep pressing with your upper arm bone, but you can let your hands down. Yeah. Right. And so now that the arms are down, can you still feel how if you push down, you can lift up the chest? Yeah. And so if at any time gravity has its way with you and it starts melting you back to the floor, you can just push down into the arms and lift the chest a little more. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Yeah, that's it. So the upper arms are pressing down, collarbones are wide, and the chest is puffed up. Yep, just kind of feel that. It's one of my favorite back bends, actually. It doesn't have anything to do with your hip flexors or your shoulders. It's purely in your spine. And most of the time we can't get to our spinal flexibility because our hips and our shoulders get in the way. So just keep like lifting the middle of your back up away from the floor and feel how beautiful that is for the spine. And you could try to wiggle your shoulder blades in a little closer together. And we're just going to stay there for another minute. So the tailbone is on the ground. The hips never leave the floor here, just the chest. And there shouldn't be a lot of effort. It's not a trying kind of pose. It's a create and sustain kind of pose. And once you're there, you can really turn your attention to the quality of your breathing. Last 3 breaths. Don't rush to make it over quicker. Enjoy and savor every single one. And as you complete this final exhalation, just start to let your spine down, widen your shoulders, let the back flatten. And again, take your arms out a little wider and turn the palms to face up. Feel how the shoulder blades can relax on the back. Again, putting space between the upper and lower jaw, space between the lips. Now you can go ahead and extend your legs straight down the mat. Okay. So I'd like you to take your hands now, and we're going to bring them up off the ground and slide your hands, like your fingers, behind your neck and interlace your fingers together under the neck. Not the back of your head, but the space under your neck. Yeah. And you can keep your elbows off the ground, or you can lay your elbows onto the ground. Those fingers, I actually think let's lay the elbows out. Yeah. And we just have fingers that are actually creating like a little spacer for your cervical curve. Can you feel that? Yeah. Now, as you have that little bit of space behind your neck, I'm just coming around just to make sure that we're all positioned well. So fingers are interlaced behind the head. Yeah, it's okay. I got a feeling I lost you. So a little lower, under the neck, not under the base of the skull. Yeah, and then let your elbows just rest on the floor. Okay, so it looks good. Now, it's such a simple thing, and I actually really need you to do it gently. Your fingers will be enough to create space. So now I just gently want you to press the back of your head into the floor. And notice how your neck picks up a little bit away from your fingers. Can you feel that? If you push gently into your head, does your neck lift a little bit away from your fingers? Yeah. You want to do that, Hal? You want to do that? Let's take this out. Interlace your fingers behind your neck, back here. Yeah. Not under the head, under the neck. Yeah. And then push your head gently into the floor and see if you can use the muscles in the neck to create the cervical curve and support. Do you guys feel that? I know this is kind of like a subtle thing, but the fingers are there to create space, not to hug onto. And we want to be under the neck and not under the base of the skull. And then you gently press your head down. Yeah, so the neck lifts away from your fingers. You can kind of feel the musculature of your neck, right? Don't overdo it, right? You don't want to have to bite your lips or scrunch your eyebrows or stick your jaw out. Some of you have your jaw jutting out. That means you're pushing your head too much. But can you feel that? Let the neck work for a moment. It's really subtle. If you were to jam your chin down to your chest, watch what would happen. The back of your neck would press into your fingers, right? Go ahead and draw the chin down. Do you see what happened? We flatten the back of the neck by drawing the chin down. And then by pressing into the back of the head gently, we lift the back of the neck up. Yeah? Can you feel that? Yeah? Just want to make sure I'm making sense. So we'll do that one more time. Just go ahead and draw the chin a little bit down toward the chest. Feel the cervical curve lengthen and flatten. And then go ahead and gently press into the back of the head and feel the cervical curve lift away from your fingers. Now you could imagine that if you had your head up on a pillow or two, what that would be doing to the back of your neck all night long. We want the airway open. Let's do the same thing again, but notice what happens to the breath. When you draw the chin down and you stretch the back of your neck, do you feel how the front of the throat gets inhibited and the breath is a little more challenging? Can you feel that? Yeah. Snorers, right? Yeah. But if we let the head back and the airway opens, the breath might come through a little more easy. Yeah. My pillows keep getting thinner and thinner. Yeah. Let's go ahead and slide our fingers out. Let the arms come back out like a T. Relax through the arms and the shoulders and just feel that energetic change in the back of the neck and the throat. Separate your lips and your jaw. Let the airway feel open and free. Yeah. The breath actually feels so much softer in the room right now. Now, slowly and gently, can you draw your knees into your belly and roll onto your right side? Just kind of roll to fetal position on the right, which means you'll kind of roll your whole body. And your hips will be stacked up. Bring the left arm around with you and just kind of lay there on your right side. Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? Just to get off your back for a second, you could imagine how much pressure there was on the back body and how the tissue is kind of soft now and the circulation can move differently. Even gravity might pull some more fluids toward the right side of the body. Maybe a little extra fluid circulation into the right side of the brain. You know, gravity can be our friend. It can also be our nemesis. How many of you have found parts of you lower than you want them to be? That is gravity. Yeah. Yeah. But we can resist gravity and we can work with gravity all day long, just like we can resist movement and tension, or we can work with it, right? We are in relationship with everything. We are not separate from anything. It's nice if we can find our way to be and abide with all of the things. We're going to keep our lower body exactly as it is. And then we're going to start to lift the left arm up toward the ceiling and take a deep breath in. And we'll start opening up into our spinal twist. You have to look we've loosened the neck up, so you got to look left before you take your arm all the way behind you, because you don't really want to put it on somebody without permission, right? Yep. So you look behind you, you reach the arm out, let the arms be down like a T. Yeah, so even if there's props there, we don't want the thumbs any higher than the ears here. So let's bring them out like a T. I want the arms down a little lower than the earlobe so that you can turn the head gently to the left. So arms a little lower. This one has to be, yeah. There you go. And pull your knees up a little higher. Yeah. And we look to the left. There you go. And then we look to the right. And then we look to the left. And we look to the right. And then one last time, go ahead, look to the left, and we hold. No more action, no more movement, just breath. There is no part of you that has to go deeper into the pose. What I want you to actually reconcile here is softening the tension. Not making the sensations bigger, but actually using your breath to make the sensations smaller, less than. Catch yourself if any part of your body is still trying or gripping or pulling or pushing. These are how we see the habitual patterns when we start to undo them. And it's not easy. They continue to creep up. And I continuously laugh at myself. This morning I woke before my alarm, which happens often. I usually don't like to be awakened by my alarm, but just in case, I don't want to sleep late, you know? And so I awaken before, and I'm laying there in bed for a little bit, and I was actually like having the same mannerisms because of the conversation I was having in my head, right? Like my face and my head and my jaw, like I was like doing what I would do if I was talking out loud. And I caught myself and I kind of laughed and I just kind of relaxed and stopped. And then I thought, I better sit in my meditation quickly before my mind gets crazy. And so I shut the alarm off and I sat. And I let my posture realign and then started my day. But like we do the weirdest things as humans. And even like I've been at this work for 30 years. This is what I do for a living, right? I observe bodies and I coach and I walk you through the process over and over, train people to teach this. And I'm still doing the work. But it does get better. You catch yourself sooner and you're able to unwind it easier. And so I know there's a little less tension in me. And I'll take that. A little less tension without chemicals or medication or substances. It's not unusual to have coughing or throat clearing when we do this kind of work. Sometimes we're breaking up something and we're like breaking up some of the energy or the stuckness. Let's all take a clearing breath. You choose your sound. Big, long, slow, deep breath in, open mouth, release. That was sweet as can be. And then really gently turn your head to the right. Let's pick up the left arm. It's going to feel kind of like a big move, but you got to take it off the floor and bring it all the way around in front of you, returning to fetal position for a moment. Right? Softening the spinal twist, neutralizing the spine. And then eventually we roll onto our backs. Find conscious resting pose, neutralize everything for a moment. Sometimes we have to wiggle, reset. And you will feel it if there's a place in your body that needs to realign. And if you move a little bit, it might just shift and adjust. I love those self-adjustments when they just happen because you move or you breathe by yourself. You don't have to go pay the chiropractor, right? And then we'll curl up onto our left side. Just go ahead, pull the knees in, curl up on your left side, and just appreciate the side lying for a moment, right? And there's something really sweet about really bringing the right arm with you and really laying on your right side. Pick up the right arm, bring it in front of you. Yeah, curl up. You're welcome. And as you're curling up, maybe pull the knees up a little bit. Let the knees kind of pull up near your belly button. Yeah, it'll make the spinal twist a little nicer. And then we're going to take that right arm and reach it up high toward the ceiling. That is the beginning of the twist. We start turning our head. You got to turn and look to the right. You got to kind of look behind you. And yep, if you run into some props or a person, be polite. Yeah. If it's your husband, you can touch him. But if it's not, I would say ask permission. You're welcome. And once you get yourself kind of open, chest open, then we start just turning the head gently. Turn to the left. And then turn to the right, just making sure there's nothing feeling stuck in there, right? Yeah, like there's so many people coughing today, and I bet none of you came in here with a cough, right? This is what I mean about that energetic work, you know? Clearing, this is how it happens. Sometimes I find myself going, you know? Yeah. And then eventually we keep our head turned to the right. We settle in and we let it soften and we just find the breath. Just so easy. Breathe right here. Send the breath between the shoulder blades. See if you can get that space in the back of the ribs to spread and fill up. And make sure the breath isn't work. It's gentle and expansive. Check and make sure you don't lock up your jaw. See what's happening everywhere. I guess we all have things unsaid, you know? How can you be a little more gentle with yourself in this moment? You know, this area of the body, the throat, the head, neck, shoulders, is wedged between the head and the heart. Think about how much goes on between our thoughts and our feelings, how much there is in there that's unexpressed. And thank God some of it's not expressed, right? But knowing what to say, when to say it, what not to say, it's the work of the yogi. It's our ability to filter and to use discernment. What a gift it would be to have our expression of ourselves in the world be a little bit more truthful and do a little less harm. Let's all take one more breath. Let out that little sound of choice or silence. And then first we roll the head around to the left side. Just feel the cervical spine first. Let the neck release. And then we pick up that right arm. It might feel heavy. It might feel like a long journey up and over. Rolling back onto your left side. Pausing for a moment. Curling up. And then when you're ready, you're just going to roll out onto your back and find your way into the stillness. A few moments. Again, a little wiggling or a little bit of adjusting, realigning so that you can lay in stillness comfortably. Sometimes we need to click something. Yes, you can cover with blankets or you can use props if you need. There is a cool towel by your left shoulder. You can use it to cover your eyes. So nice and slow, let's start to bring our awareness back. Maybe we reintroduce the breath and some little movements. Feel free to stretch and move any way that you like, and in your own way, in your own time. Let's pull ourselves together and we'll come back to that seated position. All right. How are we? We're okay? All right. So now that we cleared a little bit of the gunk out of here, maybe you can feel a little bit of like spaciousness in the shoulders, the neck, the movement. You can test it a little bit. And we're gonna close with our voices, right? With the beautiful sacred sound of Om. So today, don't be afraid to open your mouth and let the sound out. It might be your last chance to clear something in a really productive way where you don't have to yell at somebody and release something that you've been holding on to and start a whole thing, right? You might just be able to leave it right here on the mat, you know? So join me in a long, slow, deep breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti He. Om peace, peace, perfect peace. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the actions of my life and all of our lives somehow contribute to that happiness and that freedom for all. May we express ourselves from a place of love. May we hear things with a little bit of armor so we don't take everything so personally. Most of the time, what is said is nothing to do with us and a reflection of the person who's saying it. We are all a little bit broken, and we're all doing the best that we can. Maybe we lead a little more from that place of love and doing less harm. We can all contribute to making the world a little better place for everyone. Namaste. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Thank you for coming. You're welcome. Yeah. So, cloths go in the basket by the door. Blocks and mats get sprayed and put away neatly, please. Blankets folded neatly. Everyone at home, thank you so much for joining in from all of the places that you are.
Thank you.
And for the rest of you that took the recording that have not practiced, well, now you have. If you got to the end of the recording and you hear me, then you did your practice too. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Thank you.
Okay. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.